Hello everyone, here with a haul video. Usually I do some from CEX, HMV, charity stores, but this is just from charity stores. So I think I've got 12 films, only cost me like £6 or £7. I think I've got the prices on, so I'll talk about them when I get to them. Yeah, I went charity shop hunting with Ollie from Ollie Loves Film. Sure everybody knows him, host of live stream. Live stream will be on this Monday. Tune in if you can. Yeah, great guy, insane film knowledge. Ollie, unlike most of the movie loons, the Lords of Darkness, the people I'm friends with in the community who live kind of across the width and breadth of the UK, even one in Ireland. Ollie only lives 5-10 minute drive from me, so yeah, meet up like once a month or so. Usually, if I go to CEX, I'll send him a message. You want anything? Then he'll tell me some titles, so I usually pick them up. Good time to hand them over to him, as well as going on a hunt. Not only nice to have someone to hunt with and to catch up and have a chat with Ollie, but also a lot of films I don't know of that Ollie would be like, oh, you should grab that, that's out of print, or, that's a good one directed by so-and-so, or, everyone's been talking about this, it's meant to be a classic. That's enough prelim. I'll get on and show them. So this one I do eventually want to pick up on Blu-ray or 4K. Seen it when it was on the TV a few times as a kid. Sure really knows this, but Ridley Scott one, so trying to get a lot of his films, or all of his films if I can. Thelma and Louise. So when Roy did his sort of ranking of Ridley Scott and Tony Scott, R.I.P. Tony Scott, he had this quite high, I think, other than Alien, Blade Runner, and maybe Gladiator. I think it was one of his favourite Ridley Scott films. I'm sure everyone knows the story. Susan Sarandon and Gina Davis, both great actors, but especially Gina Davis. Love her in The Fly and she in The Long Kiss Goodnight. Beetlejuice, she's really good in. Yeah, not too much I could say about this. This was 50p. Didn't think it was in there like £3 for a pound. I think this was the only one I bought from this certain charity shop, Great Western Air Ambulance Charity. I always forget to mention what these charity shops are, whereas Ollie always seems to remember them, but I'm not good at remembering the names. It's got Brad Pitt in it, Susan Sarandon, Gina Davis, Harvey Keitel. Doesn't say his name on the back, but it looks like him there. His cowboy hat on. Let me know if you know. Not really ever owned this, to be fair. Let me know, Roy. I'm sure would know Blu-ray movies. Roy Barrett. If this does have like a Blu-ray or a 4K, Roy did show it. I can't remember what he had it on. But yeah, I thought for 50p, it's a good placeholder, so I can watch it in the meantime. If I do ever upgrade it to Blu-ray or 4K, then it's only cost me 50p for that version, and I can trade it. Well, probably won't be worth much, so give it on to somebody. And this one I don't think is meant to be a great film, but it's a film by Neil Marshall, who, as it says on the front, does Dog Soldiers and The Descent. Not only two of my favourite British films ever, two of my favourite horror films, British horrors. Yeah, when I did my video, to give it a plug, of top, was it 15? I can't remember how many I had, maybe more than 20, but favourite British horror films ranked. The Descent, I won't say where because it's a bit of a spoiler if you want to go and watch it, but The Descent and Dog Soldiers very high up. Both brilliant films. I know he's done a few other things that aren't great. I think there's one called The Lair or something that would be really bad. There's one I bought a while ago. What was it called? It's like The Duchess or just Duchess. It's like a kind of crime film, but not only the acting was kind of EastEnders level, Cockney kind of annoying characters, not for being Cockney, but just they had sort of weird accents they seemed to be putting on, I guess, but also was in the situation where the people that have got them, without spoiling it, I wouldn't recommend watching it, like a gun to their head, about to shoot them, been after them for all this time. I was like, just pull the trigger, and they'll chat for 10 minutes, then something will happen, very contrived, where a brick falls off the roof and they get away, and that happened like 10 times, and I was like, this is just getting silly. If these gangsters were real henchmen, like you say, then they would just shoot them as soon as they got them, not give them a chance to escape. So yeah, I did trade that one in, but hopefully this isn't a too bad one, called Centurion. Don't really know what it's about. I think I've also got Doomsday or something by Neil Marshall. I've got a few others, but yeah, Dog Soldier and The Descent, the best. Can't imagine it's on that level. Does kind of look black and white, unless it's just meant to be that kind of style. Maybe it's took something out of like Sin City 300. This one was 99p, but I think maybe I got it in the 2 for a pound. Doesn't tell me what charity shop it was from. Fight or Die, starring Michael Fassbender and Olga Kurylenko. Guess I'm saying that right. Sounds Russian, Ukrainian. Michael Fassbender, big fan of. I think he's been one of the best actors of the last 20 years, especially in Eden Lake. Even as, what was he called? Charles Xavier in the X-Men films. Not a massive fan of that, but he was good. I think that's what he plays. 93 minutes, 15, contains frequent, strong, bloody violence and strong language. Yeah, I guess in this Roman army sort of film. It's saying on the back, won't read all the blurb and that, but yeah, let me know if that's an interesting one. I thought for the money I'd pick it up. Yeah, it could be good as a Neil Marshall, but I find after his heights of those Dog Soldiers and The Descent, he's had a lot of misses, really, to be fair to him. I think he did direct some episodes of Game of Thrones, and those were good, and some of the better episodes. Only got one Blu-ray today. Not only quite a good price and one I've wanted for a while, but I think I said to Ollie, there's just not enough oil rig disaster kind of films around, and this is one. Deepwater Horizon. Got a nice slipcase. There you are, Marcus and Big Boy Beza. I know they like their slippy action. 5-star, someone's giving it. Jamie East from The Sun. Would say take anything The Sun says with a pinch of salt. Mark Wahlberg, Kurt Russell, John Malkovich, Gina Rodriguez, Dylan O'Brien, and Kate Hudson. So a stacked cast, especially Kurt Russell, one of my favourites ever. John Malkovich, good in Con Air. Mark Wahlberg, one of my favourites, but he's been in some good stuff. Who's it directed by? Peter Berg. Have heard the name, but can't say I've watched too much by him. 12, moderate threat, occasional gory moments, infrequent strong language from 2016, 107 minutes approx. Got special features and things. If you know not just oil rig films, I like sort of Submarine, Poseidon Adventure, which is about any kind of disaster or action films at sea. So I think there's Perfect Storm, which also has Mark Wahlberg. He must like being on a boat over the sea or an oil rig. But yeah, I've always found oil rigs and that interesting. Very dangerous and hard job, apparently. I'm guessing it catches on fire by the look of it. I don't really know the context, but yeah, I'm sure it's not as good as a Poseidon Adventure if you want a sort of, I was calling them tragedies. That's more a Shakespeare thing. Disaster movie at the sea, then yeah, maybe not as good as Poseidon Adventure, but I will find out. This one, probably one I wouldn't have picked up. I do remember Royal, someone showing it, but Ollie said this is one worth getting. It's only 99p, seems quite a good value for Burt Lancaster in The Swimmer. Directed by Frank Perry, 91 minutes. Can I find a year? Probably not, I usually can. It's a PG. Infrequent mild language, infrequent mild references to sex and nudity, no violence and no other, whatever other is. Let me know if, hang on, 1968. But yeah, heard good things about this. Only seen a few things of Burt Lancaster, but he's really good. Guess he's obviously he's a swimmer. Don't know whether he's just swimming for what's it called? Competition in galas in the Olympics, or whether he's trying to cross the channel. Don't know too much about it. I know there is a film. Let me know the title if you know. Surely you'll know if he's watching. Where I think it's Daisy Ridley tries to swim the English Channel. Don't know if that's got anything to do with this, but yeah, heard it's a classic. So for 99p, good to have in the collection. One I will look forward to watching. This one was 10p. Charity shop had a load of things outside at 10p each. Jeff Bridges and Maggie Gyllenhaal in Crazy Heart. So yeah, Ollie said this is one to pick up. They originally had it at £1.50, but yeah, it was in the 10p thing. The woman put it through at 10p. Big fan of Jeff Bridges. Can't say I've seen anything better than him playing the dude in Big Lebowski, Coen Brothers film. But he's good in other things I've seen. I think he's in Starman, an early John Carpenter film. I think Ash from Popcorn and Horror is a fan of that one, or have said something about it. One I don't own yet, but have seen years ago. Jeff Bridges astounded. It's beautifully acted, funny and moving film. 15, contains strong language. 106 minutes. Saying 2009. I guess that's the year if it's got Maggie Gyllenhaal in. Sister of Jake was good in Donnie Darko as well. Phenomenal, heartbreaking performance from Jeff Bridges. So yeah, I guess he's like a country and western kind of singer. Winner of 2 Academy Awards. Best Actor Jeff Bridges. Best Original Song The Weary Kind. Don't know if Jeff Bridges sings that or whether it's just part of the soundtrack. Won't read all the back and that because I don't want this to go on too long. But yeah, let me know if you've seen Crazy Heart. Looks an interesting one, like a kind of country biopic, I guess. This one, not really heard of it, but when I see it's got Tommy Lee Jones, Kate Blanchett, and it's a Ron Howard film. Thought it looked interesting. The Missing. So this, I think, was 99p, but it was 2 for £1 in this certain charity shops. I think I got this and Centurion. But yeah, I can't imagine it's going to be bad. Having Tommy Lee Jones, great actor, Cate Blanchett, good actress, especially in Lord of the Rings as getting her name now, the female elf, let's call her, and obviously directed by Ron Howard. 15. Some mild language, infrequent sex references, some strong violence, other none. Can I find a year? 2003. Guessing that's when it was released. Doesn't look that old. Can't find a running time. Guessing it's probably quite a long one, maybe 2 hours. So yeah, from the Ron Howard and Brian Grazer, the director producer team from A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. Sure, everybody knows that. Need to buy that. I haven't seen that in years since I've seen it on the TV, but a good film. Tommy Lee Jones, Cate Blanchett. Don't really know what it's about, so I'll quickly read this synopsis, not going on too long. Maggie Gilkson, played by Blanchett, is a young woman raising her 2 daughters in the desolate wilderness of New Mexico when eldest daughter Lily, played by Evan Rachel Wood from 13, is snatched by a dark hooded phantom with mystical powers. Maggie is forced to reunite with her long estranged father, played by Tommy Lee Jones, who suddenly appears offering help. The killer and his brutal cult of desperados have kidnapped several other teenage girls, leaving a trail of death and horror across the desolate landscape of the American Southwest. Maggie and her father are in a race against time to catch the renegades and save the girl before the kidnappers cross the Mexican border and disappear with her forever. I thought it was going to be more of a thriller. It's kind of got a bit more of a horror edge, but looks like it's like to do with Native American mythology. Tommy Lee Jones, actually, I don't know if you can see him there. Looks like he is playing like a Native American with long hair and like a little hat. I like films with like Native American lore and stuff. But 2 hours 11 minutes I've just found. It's quite long. But yeah, I thought this would be a thriller along the lines of, say, Mystic River. But it actually looks a bit more, maybe not a horror, but obviously it's like black hooded figures kidnapping people. And yeah, maybe a bit darker than I expected. But The Missing. Yeah, The Missing. I thought it was just Missing. Let me know if you know that one. Another kind of horror one, probably not great. I mean, it's a book by Clive Barker. I mean, Ollie picked it up and said, have you seen this? So I said, no, I'll grab it. Trying to get I say Clive Barker films when I've looked. It's not actually directed by Clive Barker. Nearly tripped on my own tongue. Directed by Hal Masonberg. It could be a bit of a crap one, but for 99p, happy to have it in the collection and give it a chance. Starring James Van Der Beek from Dawson's Creek, Dee Wallace Stone from The Howling, so at least it's got 2 good actors. 1 hour 24, 15 contains strong gory violence. Probably is a year, but I think it might be covered by this sticker. See if I can have a look. 2006, so yeah, not too old, but yeah, obviously Hellraiser, Candyman, Books of Blood, Nightbreed, aka Cabal, all written by Clive Barker or adapted from his mostly short stories. So I'm guessing this is a story by him. But yeah, got one I think is directed by him, or at least based on his works, called Saint and Sinner, which is quite a bad film. I'm guessing this probably could, but for 99p, it's a stinker. I'll pass it on to someone. Maybe it'll be like a so bad it's entertaining kind of one. This one I have seen, but never actually owned, but not just a really good British film, seminal, but also my mum and a lot of her friends from her age group, she's like in her late 50s, who her age, they were all like mods, and this sort of meant a lot to them, this film, and sort of was, what's the word, formative, I guess, quadrophenia. So yeah, never actually owned this on like Blu-ray or anything, so 99p for the DVD with a slip, not too bad. Like I said, I've seen it years ago. Great cast: Phil Daniels, Mark Wingett, Philip Davis, Leslie Ash, Gary Cooper, Toya Wilcox, Sting, Trevor Laird, Kate Williams, I know some woman called that, Michael Elphick, Kim Neve, Ray Winstone, Gary Shell, musical directors John Entwistle and Pete Townsend. Guess they're both out of the Who. I know Pete Townsend is. Can't actually see the director on this. It's an 18, contains very strong language, 1 hour 55. Yeah, it's not only good music and a good film, well made, but also, yeah, if you're into the mod kind of movement, they're all riding around on their little Vespers, or is it Lambretta? It's motorbikes, I think they're Vespers. I think Stuart has some of those. Yeah, I think Stuart and Marcus from X-File 2708 have said this is like, kind of really resonates with them. And yeah, I've seen it, but when I was quite young, so I can't remember too much. I remember after watching Scum with Ray Winstone, this came on the TV, and I was like, well, it's got Ray Winstone, so I'll watch it. And yeah, even though I didn't know much about mod music, I guess Paul Weller and people were like big in that scene. I think the mods used to like fight the skinheads down Brighton Beach, I've heard, and had like what do you call it, like not riots, a bit like with football hooliganism, you know, groups of 20 fighting each other and stuff. Yeah, it'd be good to see it as an adult. Now I'll understand it more, know more about the music. Whereas, yeah, as a kid, I didn't really know what he was talking about, but I still enjoyed it. So this one of my best finds ever in a charity shop. Not only is it sealed, it's an Arrow Video DVD. I think it's out of print. I thought it's worth quite a lot, didn't check, but when I sort of sent this in our Lords of Darkness group to Marcus and Ash, X-File 2708 and Popcorn and Horror respectively. Marcus did say this is going for £8 in CEX. It's pieces. Yeah, I don't think it's a great slasher. I think it's like a cheap Italian slasher. It might be pretty brutal, contains strong bloody violence, 82 minutes. But yeah, I've got a few of these old White Arrow DVDs. I've got the Beyond, Combat Shock, Street Trash and Zombie Flesh Eaters. So now it's a fifth one to add in the collection. And yeah, you don't really see this around, so quite surprised find this in the charity shop. Someone must have given it in to them for free when they could have traded it in at CEX for probably like, well, you'd imagine £4 or £5 would be fair when they're selling it for £8, but no, in CEX they probably offered you, well, you probably had to pay them for them to take it and sell it on for £8. But you don't have to go to Texas for a Chainsaw Massacre. It's the tagline. But yeah, I heard it's quite like a cheap B movie, but apparently very gory, entertaining. But yeah, nice one to have in the collection. This one I have seen before, one I've never actually owned, but really enjoyed it as a kid. If you've ever watched Boys in the Hood and enjoyed that, then this is similar vein, maybe even a bit more brutal. It's Menace to Society. It says 25p. Well, they're saying £25 or £2,534. I don't really know their pricing, but yeah, this is one. What's the other one I bought at 10p? That Jeff Bridges, Crazy Heart. The lady put this through the till at 10p as well. Directed by the Hughes brothers, starring Tyrone Turner, Jada Pinkett, Bill Duke, Charles S. Dutton. Yeah, it's basically like a gangster film. People like in the hood, but yeah, I'd say more brutal on that than Boys in the Hood. Maybe not a better film than Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood's got a great soundtrack. Can't remember what the soundtrack to this is like, from 1993. But yeah, I wanted to find Leane on DVD, and for 10p, happy to pay that. And then I saved these two for last. Obviously, if you've watched my Tartan video collection, kind of was never hunting them in particular, but it's not like I'm going for a full set or anything, because, you know, I've had some that I've upgraded and traded in, gave to CEX, give to Marcus, give to Lewis, aka Big Boy Beza. So I'm not trying to collect the label to have lots of Tartan video, but from when I was doing the video, I'm like, they've just got a lot of good films, or at least interesting, challenging films. So I thought if I do see any more that I don't know, I'll pick them up, just because I think they'll be good films. So Tartan video label. One is called Walmart, which is a documentary about Walmart. I've seen like Bowling for Columbine and Super Size Me and enjoyed those, so do like some documentaries sometimes. It's only a PG, 2005. 99 minutes, PG, contains reports of racism and violence. I guess that's what happens in Walmart. The horror story this film tells is one to which everyone should pay attention. A chillingly funny documentary, startling, demands to be seen, jaw-dropping. Can I find it was produced and directed by Robert Greenwald? Ironically, I think Walmart now used to own a company called Walgreens. So yeah, his name's quite similar to that, for somebody who hates it and does a documentary about it. Yeah, it's meant to be quite probably not harrowing because it's a PG, but yeah, a bit like Bowling for Columbine, which unearths some like dark secrets and, you know, pushes the envelope. Yeah, it's a bit like a Louis Theroux kind of thing. I know Marcus from X-File 2708 is into a lot of his documentaries, so let me know if you've seen this one, mate. Does for a gargantuan American retail outlet what Super Size did for the Big Mac. So yeah, Supersize Me, sorry. So yeah, looks an interesting one, but don't own too many documentaries. So this one I've heard of, know a lot about, but never actually watched. But it's a French film by Matthew Kassovitz, starring Vincent Cassel. Always used to see this one around in the World Cinema section back when I was buying a lot of the like Tartan Video, the Extreme French films, the Tartan Asia Extreme collection. It's Leane. I think Sammy G picked this one up recently on like Blu-ray or 4K or something. So let me know what it's like, Sammy, and yeah, go check out Sammy G's World of Cinema. Shelby knows his channel, great guy in the community. An urban nightmare that's shot like a dream, a brutally brilliant masterpiece of 90s cinema, 97 minutes, French language with English subtitles, suitable for 15, from the year 2001, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's in black and white, which don't bother me, but when directors are usually making black and white films in a more modern age, I think they're usually going for something more artistic. So films like Eraserhead, I've watched a few recently that were Darren Aronofsky's Pi, Tetsuo the Iron Man. Those are sort of more, I say contemporary, they're 20, 30 years old, but you know, they didn't have to shoot them in black and white. It's been made since colour. So I find they usually try and be a bit more artsy in that, when art house, when they're shot in black and white. Yeah, I think I've seen a film with that guy in the middle. Can't remember his names. It tell me here. It really says much about the cast. Yeah, don't know too much about this going in, but I thought for 99p. Sorry, yeah, and the last one was 99p, or maybe they were like £3 for £1. I can't remember. Yeah, it's Tartan Video, so I imagine it'd be good. But I've heard it's a classic. And yeah, fan of Vincent Cassel. Seen a lot of good films of him in. Funnily enough, he was in Guest House Paradiso with Rick Mail, rest in peace, and Adrian Edmondson. Don't know how they managed to get him to be in that, when at the time he was like a big international, but especially French cinema actor in some quite challenging films. Yeah, it looks a bit like a Riot kind of film or something. But if it says an urban nightmare that's shot like a dream, then that sounds up my street. Sounds like it could be like a David Lynch sort of style thing. How long is this going on? Yeah, I'll quickly read the synopsis. Leane is packed with sharp street humour, intense action, and brutally brilliant camera work. Police viciously beat a 16-year-old housing estate kid they are questioning, leaving him almost dead. Responding to violence, teenagers from the estate turn their home into a 24-hour war zone. Among the people blinded by hate are Saeed, Vince, and Hubert, youths who survive on petty crime and dealing dope. In the intensely volatile environment, the teenagers find the chrome-plated Smith & Wesson 44 that a plainclothes cop has lost. If killing a cop with his own gun doesn't express their rage, then what will? This tragic story evoked the French cabinet to commission a special screening to see what they were up against on the streets of Paris. So I don't know if this is just a piece showing what can happen with French riots, or whether it was based on real Parisian violence and riots. I know every time the French don't get it sounds hard to say they don't get their own way. In Britain, when we're not happy with things, we just sit and take it. Whereas when the government rules something they're not happy with in France, they all just go out on the streets and riot, overturn cars. I guess the logic is, say the government are like, right, we need to cut 50 million from benefits. They're like, all right, we'll go out and do 100 million of damage until you reverse the decision. So it's going to cost you more than the stuff you're trying to pull. I won't get too much into the politics of France. I don't really know much about it, but it does seem that they don't take any crap like us Brits do, and they like a good riot. I guess they created the Bastille and La Révolution. But yeah, Leane, let me know if you know about that one. Yeah, so that's everything I've got from the charity shop. So yeah, some quite good finds. Usually, things I'm buying in the charity shops I'm always interested in, but very rare I find like Sealed Arrow video DVDs and Tartan Video releases. So happy with that. Not gone on too long for me, 24 minutes. Thanks for watching, everybody. Again, go and enter my recently uploaded giveaway video if you're interested in winning some stuff. I would say the more people enter, the better. You're probably not hoping that if you're an entrant, because I have less chance of winning. There's 100 names in the hat. You've got 1 in 100 chance. If only 20 people enter, then your odds ain't too bad. Guess it's better than the National Lottery, although the prizes aren't as good. Right, thank you for watching, everybody. Goodbye.